Your computer's working fine, and there's nothing wrong with YouTube. I forgot to turn on my microphone when I did my intro. I have to refilm it. Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to finally be using the Caron anniversary cake yarn that I've had for over 2 years. I was so frazzled the day that I had to film that intro because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what video I'm doing. And I just wasn't thinking clearly. And I forgot to turn the microphone on. And it's so funny is because I will watch other creators and they'll be like, oh my, I forgot to turn my microphone. My microphone wasn't working for this clip. I'm like, that will never happen to me. And then it did. And it happened at the worst possible timing, the intro to a video. During this intro, I will be cutting back and forth to my new intro versus my old intro, because in the first intro I did, I actually showed you the giant cake of yarn. Unfortunately, I caught it too late and I had already started using the yarn. So I can't really show it right now because it is attached to the project. So I will be doing a little bit of voiceover for this intro. Voiceover time. Okay, this is the Yarnspirations Caron Anniversary Cake. It does say limited time only. It was $45 Canadian, although I think at the time I did use a 40% off coupon. So I did not pay the full price. I got this yarn almost 2 years ago. I got it in 2024. I believe this was the first time me and my sister went to the Mary Maxim tent sale. And then after we were done that, we're like, hey, let's just stop in at Michael's and see what new yarns they have. And surprisingly, they had the anniversary cake. It is a super bulky 6. You need an 8mm crochet hook. It is 100% acrylic. The amount of yarn that you get in this thing is 1,000 grams. Normally when I get a yarn, it's like 100 grams. That's 10 times the grams. It is also 1,061 yards or 970 meters. The color that I ended up getting is called birch bark. I got this color because I thought it reminded me of like the fall. You know how much I love the fall. And unfortunately, summer is fast approaching and it's getting really warm out and I'm not having it. I don't like the heat. I would rather have winter. I'm sorry. Summer is my least favorite season. And here I am going to be making a project with this really chunky yarn. I am actually going to be making another blanket. I did a video a few weeks ago of me making a scrap blanket and I'm just like, I don't make a lot of blankets and I probably won't end up making any more blankets. Proceeds to make another blanket. This is kind of another stash busting project, but I am only using one yarn that I need to stash bust. This yarn has taunted me for 2 years. It just keeps looking at me and like, where are you gonna put me now? Are you gonna use me yet? And it's like, you know what, fine. I'm going to use this yarn and I'm going to make you into something. And then you will stop taking space in my yarn storage. And I'm always moving it around and I'm like, one day I'll do it. One day I'll make something with it. And then I'm just like, I need to make something with it now. I have decided to make the 6-day star blanket. I think a lot of y'all have suggested that I make that project with this yarn. So that is what's going to happen. I am making the 6-day star blanket. It is not going to take me 6 days. Again, because I am refilming this, I've already started working on it. And I can tell you it's not going to take me 6 days. This is a super bulky, chunky yarn. I think I can get it done in 3 or 4 days. That's my goal. Now, I know a lot of people who do this pattern, it does take them 6 days because it is called the 6-day star blanket for a reason. I think you're supposed to do a few rows a day so it's not so daunting. And then at the end of like the week, because it's like 6 days, you get a really nice blanket. And I think a lot of people are using more of like a 4-weight medium worsted yarn. They look really, really nice. And I like the different colors. A lot of people do a different color for each row. Me, on the other hand, I am just using what is coming out of this cake of yarn. And I'm making it as big as it will go. That's all I can say right now. Because I know how it's going right now because I'm like in the middle of making it. I don't know how big it is going to be at the end. So that's going to be a surprise for both of us. I'm not really used to using this chunky yarn. So crocheting it is very strange. I really don't know what I said in the original intro. And I'm just so mad at myself that I forgot to hit the on button. And like I can clearly see the little thing. It's this little thing here. There's 2 green lights that are on that I can see. So I don't know why I didn't even see it. I will say though, is sometimes with this is my little audio thing. I might as well tell y'all why it went awry. So it comes in a little thing like this. I really like these mics. They're small, they're nice. I like them. It comes with 2 little lav mics. So I got one here, one's in here, and then it comes with this little guy here, which transmits it and it goes into the camera. Sometimes when I take the little thing that hooks into the camera out, it lights up and it turns on. And sometimes it doesn't do that. When I originally did this intro, it did not turn on by itself, and I wasn't even paying attention to that. That was fun. And a lot of times, the only way that I learn is if I make a giant mistake, and then I hopefully will never make that mistake again. I am really excited to see how this project is gonna turn out. If you are new to my channel and you like crocheting, yarn, knitting, thrifting, 80s, this general vibe, then why not hit the subscribe button? If you subscribe to my channel, you'll be up to date with all of my latest videos and projects. Time to start this project. Now again, I'm only making it as big as whatever this yarn gets to. I don't want to buy more yarn. This is kind of another stash busting project. Just need to get rid of this. Not get rid of it, but I just need it not to be in this thing anymore. It's been in here for 2 years. It needs to be free. I've never actually opened this. Okay. I don't want to take it out of the casing. I don't want it just to fall apart, and I'm not winding this up into a ball, although I would love to see how big that would get. I think I might just center pull it. I'm following the star blanket from this pattern here. I think I watched a video like months ago about it. Something to do with like how the pattern is written. It can be a little bit confusing, and I totally get that because I was trying to read it. When it's a bunch of words, it gets lost on me. I am a diagram pattern person. I like to see a diagram or a chart of something instead of it saying like 1DC here, 1DC there. I like just to see like the image of all the little symbols for each stitch. This one suggests an 8mm crochet hook. In the pattern, it wants you to use 2 different hooks. I think it's so it doesn't curl. That's what my sister said. My sister did say that she actually started making one of those blankets with her yarn that was like this. I think she got the one that was called Hocus Crocus. She started it, but she never finished it. I hope I can finish mine. Because it is a free pattern, I don't feel like I need to censor what I'm saying because it is a free pattern, and I will put the pattern that I'm using linked in the description if any of y'all are interested in also looking at it. In the pattern, it says you need to have a 0.5 hook size up from the hook that the yarn suggests. So I would need an 8.5, and then I need a 0.5 bigger than the 8.5, meaning I would need a 9. I'm not gonna do that. I am gonna go up a hook size, but I'm not doing what it suggests because I'm not gonna go out and buy a hook. I don't have an 8.5 hook. There's no project ever that I've ever done that I needed an 8.5 hook, and I don't really want to spend money on an 8.5 hook that I'm probably am never going to use in my life again. So I'm just going to do a 9 and then a 10. Thank goodness my sister does have a 9mm crochet hook. This is the wooden Mary Maxim hook. Looks very much like the wooden furls hooks, but the wooden furls hooks go for sometimes $100 a hook. This, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 10 bucks or something like that. I'll put it might have been 15, but it was significantly cheaper. I'll also link these in the description as well if you are interested in looking at these. So maybe, you know, when I go to Mary Maxim next time, I will buy a 9mm crochet hook. 90% sure that I have a wooden 10mm crochet hook. Where that hook is, I'm not 100% sure, but I do have this one. It is the Juicy Couture 10mm crochet hook. I got this at the Lens Mill store, and there was like so many there, and I believe they were like $3 each or something. Like, it was a ridiculous price, and I haven't used it for anything, so I thought, you know what, let's use it for this project. I'm gonna pull from the center. I don't know if it's a center pull thing. It's honestly so strange using this really chunky yarn because I'm also working on another project right now, which is almost done. And I'm using a DK weight yarn with a 4mm crochet hook. So going from a 4mm crochet hook to a 9mm crochet hook is a really big difference. Gotten this far so far. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For some reason, I thought there was only going to be 6 points, but it's the 6-day star blanket, not the 6-point star blanket. So there's 7 points. It's going by pretty easily, I think. I am noticing that These are curling, and this is the part where I need to switch crochet hooks. So I'm going to switch to this one here. I've never actually crocheted with these. I bought 3 of them. I bought a 5, I bought an 8, and I bought a 10. And I've heard mixed reviews with them. I bought them because they're pink and sparkly and I like them. Also, they have a good weight to them. They feel like a heavier furls crochet hook. They are inline, which is unfortunate because you know how I feel about inline crochet hooks. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't mind them if they're a big size like this one here. I had no problem crocheting with it. It's just the smaller the hook, the worse it is for me personally. I really wish my BWA hooks came in a larger size because I would buy them. They stop at a 7. For most of my projects, I'm good. How often do I actually make something with chunky yarn? I think I'm gonna switch to the 10 now, and I can give my sister back her hook. This is where I'm going to stop for right now. I'm in the 10th row, which is technically round 2. That's what the pattern says. And this is how far I've gotten in an hour and 40 minutes. And then at Crochet Club, I will continue this. Still doesn't feel like I left a dent in this at all. I thought because of how chunky this yarn was, I'd get it done super fast. I don't even think I've touched the tip of the iceberg. So I just came back from Crochet Club and I want to show you how far I've gotten. Also, this is the bag that I had to take with me because of how big this yarn is. Like, it takes up basically the entire bag. This is it so far. I think I've gotten to the point where now I have to repeat the steps. So I'm no longer learning any new steps. I'm just repeating the same steps now. Although I think I messed up, I want to say around here because this isn't adding up. So I need to take a little bit of that off. I also did make a mistake during Crochet Club because I'm supposed to do like 1 row single crochets and then 2 rows of double crochets and then a single crochet row and then the clusters. I only did 1 double crochet row and then I went back to single crochet and I finished the entire row and I had to take the whole thing apart. It looks pretty neat, to be honest, okay? When I'm looking at it up close, I don't really see it. It's just a mush of colors. But from far away, this actually does look really good and it looks like a star shape. But you know, like when you're like this, it doesn't look like anything. Yeah, because everyone at Crochet Club was like, no, you're doing a good job. It looks really good. I'm like, does it? And it's because I've been staring at it for far too long. I think I might be stopping for the night today because I got to finish my other project and that other project because I have to mail the other project. So I need to get that done and out of my house. To the person. I wanted to bring something to Crochet Club that I could just like kind of work on. Might be getting back to this today, depending if I can finish what I need to finish on the other project. I hope I can get back to this. I really would love to work on this more and fix whatever issues happening there. It doesn't even look like I made a dent, but it's getting a little bit more squishy. I am not good at telling how much yarn you can get from something and how far you'll get in a project, basically. Honestly, I thought this whole thing of yarn would have made this size. I don't even think I'm halfway done right now. But that's okay. Like, I'm having fun. Like, it's interesting. It's doing something different. It's like taking my skills of doing granny squares and putting it into a star form. If I think about it, it's just a really big star granny square. And you know how much I love doing granny squares. Anyways, I'm going to stop for right now. It is currently 5:00 p.m. right now. I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to work on my other project. And I'm hoping maybe around 7:30, I can get back to working on this. I finished my other project. All I have to do left with that other project is just sew it tomorrow, like with the sewing machine, because I have to put a lining in, which means I get to go back to this. And the time is 7:10 p.m. Like I said, I was kind of hoping to get back to this project around 7:30, and I got like literally right in the middle of that. Figured out where I went wrong. I always have problems with the peaks and the valleys. I've done like, you know, zigzag and ripple stitch type of patterns before. It throws me off just a little bit, like where do I put it? Like I want to put it in the center, but I think you're supposed to put it one before the center. Every time it just stumps me. Also, this crochet hook here, I was crocheting with it at Crochet Club, and because she has like bright lights above you, whereas me, I just have like lamps everywhere, so it's not like the brightest it could be. I am not a fan of ceiling lights. I like ambience, or ambiance, however you want to say it. Anywho, because it was really bright in her store, this was glittery as heck. This was so glittery, and it was like so fun crocheting with it because like I was just kind of staring at it. And maybe that's why I messed up there, because I was too entranced by the glittery hook. I'm having no problem crocheting with this. I think there is, on some of them, there's like a seam that people say bug them. I don't think this one has one. I don't know, it's very smooth. I don't really feel a seam on it, and if there is, maybe it's just the way that I'm holding my hook. I quite enjoy using this. I like how heavy it is. Y'all know me, I like a heavier hook. The lighter hooks actually hurt my hand. Ever since I switched to a heavier hook, I don't know, my hands don't hurt as much. Maybe it's because I'm not holding tightly onto a little tiny pen, where this has some weight on it. It's easier to crochet with. But yeah, now I have tomorrow and Thursday to strictly work on this, which is really nice. I think it's looking pretty good so far. Anyways, I'm going to continue on this and we're going to see how far I can get. What I did to make this pattern a little easier for me is that I saved it as a PDF on my iPad, and this is a free pattern and it will be linked. What I do is with my Apple Pencil, everything that is underlined is a step. Everything that is in a circle means nothing to me. It just means it's just like some extra tips and repeat, meaning I don't have to deal with that. It's not a step, if that makes sense. So this whole paragraph that, you know, really hurt my brain, once I figured out how to section it off, is much more manageable. I can understand it better. Doing this is gonna help me a lot for this pattern. Update on the star blanket. Now I know that I'm gonna get this blanket done a lot faster than 6 days because I am using a really bulky yarn, whereas I think, I wouldn't say the standard, but a lot of people use like a 4-weight worsted type of yarn for these projects, and they get like the most beautiful colors. And obviously like maybe like one day I will do that. But for right now, I'm using a 6 bulky weight yarn. So this thing is working out pretty fast, and I'm definitely gonna get it done in probably 3 days. If I could get it done today, that would also be great. I might. I am well aware that this project is going a lot faster than the traditional star blanket, only because I'm using really bulky yarn. This is it. Look at this. This almost looks like a calico cat. You know, like the color that a calico cat has. Like, look at the colors. They're pretty, it's pretty fun. Covers basically my entire body. And I'm still not done. Like, I'm still, like, this is not done. I still have so much to do. I still have so much to go. I still have all of this. It honestly looks like I haven't even made a dent in this. Like, I can feel the squishiness. Like, it is definitely not as big as it used to be. I don't know how much bigger this is gonna be. This is a doozy. I have to keep it in a Value Village bag because it's so big. And it won't fit in one of my standard yarn bags. I did mess up a few times. It turns out I can't count properly. I know I mentioned this yesterday. When it comes to like peaks and valleys, so you know, like this here, this top, that's a peak, and then like right here, that's the valley. Whenever I've done a zigzag or a ripple stitch, I have the worst time doing those because I never know where to put the peak, because you don't actually put it like right in the middle. I believe in this pattern you have to put it like offset it by 1. It works out, like it's still, they still look very even. I get really confused sometimes and I'll accidentally put it over 1 more than I need to, and then when I'm doing say like this row down here going into the valley, I'm short 1, and then I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to have this many whatever, and I don't have that many. The reason why I say whatever is because it changes. Every row changes the amount. So say I was supposed to have like 10 double crochets here, I'll have 9 double crochets. And so then I'm like, where did I go wrong? And then I have to take apart my work. I think the worst mistake that I made, it's not even a bad mistake, but the most annoying mistake, let's call it that. The most annoying mistake that I've done, I completely missed a whole row. I was supposed to do 2 rows of double crochets, and I did 1 row of double crochets. Then I skipped the next row. Basically, the 2 rows are the exact same thing. It's just 1 row has a few more stitches, right? Because it's the bigger row. And I skipped it. And I went right to a single crochet row, and I went the whole thing around. And I'm like, wait a minute, things aren't adding up. And then I was looking at it, and then I was looking at the pattern, and then I was looking at the blanket, and then I was looking at the pattern, and I'm like, something isn't lining up. And it's because I did the wrong row. Had to take all of that apart and redo it, but it's fine. I got pretty far last night. Again, I was working on another project. I'm in here right now because I had to sew that project. And then I'm like, well, I'm in here, I might as well give an update. My sewing machine was not cooperating with me. The one time I sew something for somebody else, my sewing machine is like, not today. So if you see thread hanging anywhere from me or on my projects or whatever, it's because I had to take apart so many things so many times. I also changed the needle. I know I need to change my sewing needle more, and they say change it for every project, but it's like, when I think of changing a needle for a project, I feel like you're making a dress, you're making pants, you're making a top. For me, I use it just to sew like the lining of a bag together, and to me that's not like a full project. If I'm spending hours on a project, then I'll change the needle. I don't remember the last time I did change the needle, so I changed the needle and things were fine. Anyways, this is approximately 5 hours of work that I did yesterday. The nice little stitches in there, it looks pretty fun. I have a round rug on the floor, and this is almost the same size as that rug, so this is gonna be pretty big. Today I'm kind of hoping maybe to finish it. Maybe, I feel like this is probably half of this. Like I don't know, this is either half or a little bit more than half of the yarn. So if it took me about 5 hours to do this yesterday, give myself another 5 hours today, I should be done it. That'd be kind of neat. But yeah, with this really chunky yarn, it is taking me no time to work on it. The current time is 5:50 p.m. I really don't know where the day went. Also, there's Gigi. There's a little Totoro. There's a little pom-pom Parin. I saw him at the Dollarama today all by himself. I'm like, I need him. But also pom-pom Parin is my favorite Hello Kitty character. I love him so much, mainly because he reminds me of my cat Whispers. And I know Pom-Pom Parin is a dog, and my cat Whispers is indeed a cat. Whispers just gives off the same energy as... What? She was looking at me like, why are you not talking about me? Let's see how far I can get on this today. Maybe I'll finish it, maybe I won't. We'll have to see. Slowly working on it. I should have started earlier. I really don't know why I didn't. I got like this big knot, so I really didn't want to cut it. I wanted it to be one long piece. I'm gonna have to cut it because I can't untangle this anymore. I spent 10 minutes untangling it and it still looks like this. I think I'm just gonna cut it. Also, let me know in the comments, should I have pulled from the center from this? Because I've never used this. I've never used any of the anniversary cakes. I bought one and I haven't used it till right now. So should I have maybe wound it up instead of pulling from the center? Because now it's a little bit of a mess. Still working on it. It is currently 8:17 p.m. now. I have this mess right now, but it's a contained mess and it's not giving me any issues, so I don't want to touch it. I don't want to make it worse. It's going. This is a big blanket. I did not honestly think that this blanket was going to be as big as it's turning out, and I'm still not done. I really thought I was going to get this done today, and I started at 5. I'm going to give myself till 9 p.m. and wherever I am, that is where I'm going to finish for the day, and then tomorrow I'll get it done. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. This is day 2's update, so technically today is day 3, and I'm gonna finish it today. I was really hoping to finish it yesterday, and it just didn't happen. I don't know what happened yesterday. It was just kind of like, I didn't want to do anything. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to start it right now. I can do it later. I'll do something else. I'll clean my room. I'll do this. And the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to finish it today. That's okay. But I thought I would give you an update from yesterday. This is how big it is for day 2. I feel like I might have gotten maybe 4 rows done yesterday. It's also because of how big the rows are now. They're taking longer and longer and longer to do. I thought I would have run out of yarn by this point right here. I did not think that it would be this big. And I still have more. I do not want to take it out of the bag because it is in a very delicate state right now. But I'm afraid if I pull it out, it's just going to become a really tangled mess. So I'll just do, this is it. This is how much yarn I have left. I still have so much yarn left. I honestly thought that this yarn would have been done by now. I did not honestly think that I would still have yarn left, especially this much yarn left. I can see that I've used it. But while I'm crocheting, every time I look over at the yarn, it looks like nothing's changed. It felt like it was a giant big cake and now it just went to this. There was like no in between. It looked like I was doing nothing, and then at one point I looked down and it was like this. I'm like, okay, so it's not a magic yarn that never ends, because that'd be crazy. That'd be too much yarn. But is there such thing as too much yarn? But yeah, that is how much yarn I still have left. Today I am going to finish this blanket. It's gonna get done. I am going to finish it, which I think I can do if I start early and I hustle and I don't give up. This is how far I've gotten with day 2 of the 6-day star blanket. I am finally sitting down. It is 5 o'clock. I did have to do some editing today, so I didn't waste the day like I did yesterday. I really should have started crocheting earlier yesterday, but I just wasn't in the mood. And a lot of the times, if I'm not in the mood to crochet, mistakes will happen. You saw the yarn earlier. That's how much I have. I'm going to use it all up. So I think what I'm going to do, at the beginning of each row, I'm going to look at the yarn and see how much I have. Because what I might do is at the very end, I might just do some rows of single crochets just to kind of even it out. That way I can use up all the yarn and it won't look crooked. I don't know. I don't want to leave off like in the middle of a row that I had to do half double crochets, because then it's going to end up looking like this, like how it's sticking up and not even. So every time I start a new row, I'm going to check my yarn and see how much I have left. So I just finished one row and I still have this much yarn left. Just finished the second row that I've done today and I still have this much yarn. Current time, 6:30. I also kind of got tired and took a little break. I'm back at it. Just finished row 3 and I still have this much yarn left. I didn't expect to go through a lot of yarn on this row because it was all a single crochet row. I had just finished my single crochet row and now I'm on the double crochet row. And what did I keep doing? Single crochets. It happens to me all the time. I just get so used to doing one stitch, and then as soon as I have to switch stitches, I completely forget I have to switch them and I just keep doing what I was doing. Luckily, I did not get that far before I realized that I was doing the wrong stitch. I just finished the 4th row of crocheting today and I still have this much yarn, so I'm gonna do another row the way they ask. The only problem with the row that I did is I did it wrong, and I found out too far along for me to want to turn around and change it. I am so used to doing granny squares. When I got to the corner part, like the peak part, I did what I was doing down here, which is 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Whereas in the pattern, I was only supposed to do 5 double crochets in the top stitch or whatever, and I didn't do that. But you know what? It's a blanket. It's all gonna mesh together. It's fine. I'll just have to alter the next row to take that into account so it doesn't mess up the shape. What I did to fix that little problem was I had to do so many stitches this way, which left me with an extra stitch here and here, plus that chain 3 here. So what I did is I put 1 stitch in here, 3 stitches into that chain, and then 1 stitch here. So that's 5 stitches that I needed to do in the top. I've solved the problem. It looks fine. I just want to see what this blanket looks like done now. Look how sparkly this crochet hook is. In person, it's very sparkly. I feel like maybe on camera it's not as sparkly.
This is the skin of a killer bee.
So I just finished my 5th row of the day. Now I believe it is a single crochet row. I was able to fix my little issue that I had at the top corners. Wasn't really a problem once I figured it out. I feel like I might be able to get 2 more rows with this. So let me just do this row and then we'll see where we are. Part of me just wants to cut it and just be like, it's done. But no, I am determined to use all of this yarn. It got like super tangled and now I'm trying to untangle it. I also cut it again because it was annoyingly tangled up. That's fine. Like I'll just have to weave in a few ends. Just finished the 6th row and I have this. Will this be enough to do another row? Because the next row is the granny clusters, 3 double crochets in the same stitch. I don't want to do it and then run out. Like I could just keep doing single crochet over and over and over again. I think I'm going to do single crochet and I'm going to keep going around and around and around until it's over and I have no more yarn left. That's what I'm going to do. That's it. I was able to do one full row of single crochets, and then I don't even remember. And then I did 2 peaks. So I was able to do 2 points of the star. And then right when I was getting to the 3rd point, I ran out. That is it. Current time, 9:50 p.m. I just have to now weave in a few little ends, and then it's reveal time. I finished the blanket, so let's see how big this actually turned out. I feel like that wasn't that impressive of an unveiling, but it's done. This thing is massive. I don't even think I can fit it in the screen. Look at this thing. I did not think it would get this big, okay? Like you saw when I was doing my day 2 update, I thought that is how big it was gonna get with the amount of yarn. I did not realize how much yarn came in this. Like, I saw it and I'm like, okay, that looks like a big thing of yarn. Anytime I've ever had to use chunky yarn like that, it didn't really get me that far. So I just didn't think that that yarn was gonna get me this much. And again, the price for this yarn was $45, and I'm pretty sure I did use a 30% coupon, so it probably went down to 30 something. I'm not the greatest at math. $40 worth of yarn to make this giant blanket. I think that's pretty worth it. I am gonna put a photo here of what it looks like all spread out, because I literally cannot hold it. Like, it won't fit in the frame. I'm really shocked of how big this blanket actually became. It does look really neat though. Like, the coloring of it looks really cool. I really like the colors. Like, they look neat. The gray, I thought it was gonna be more of a blue. It is what it is. It's pretty big, and like, to wrap it around myself, it wraps around quite nicely. So I guess I could do like, it looks like a spider web, like I'm stuck in a spider web right now. Pretty cozy. This is what it looks like from the back if you were to walk around your house in it. Just modeling it for y'all. This is what it looks like if you were to wear this as a blanket. If anybody's wondering the softness of it, very soft, very plush. It was a pretty easy project to do. Would I make another star blanket? I'm gonna probably say no. I'm not a blanket person, and yet I proceed to make 2 blankets in 1 month. But I needed to use this yarn for something. I didn't want to make this into, like, say, a sweater. It's probably could be enough to make yourself a sweater or a cardigan. But I didn't want to make a project like that and then realize, oh, I've run out of yarn. I need to buy more yarn, because there was no chance that I was gonna buy a second one of these. Also, I bought this 2 years ago. The odds of me getting this one again, very slim. And that is why I decided to do like this blanket. To me, it's like one of those like scrappy blankets. You just kind of use your yarn up until you don't have it anymore. And that's what this was. Even though technically it was just one giant cake of yarn, I just needed to get it out of its yarn form, like the cake form, and into something that I might actually use, instead of it just taking up space in my yarn storage. I bought this yarn because I liked it and I wanted to do something with it. This week where I didn't really have a project to work on because I was working on something else, and so I couldn't really do anything big, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well just make this blanket. And I did talk to my sister about it, because my sister, she is in the process of making one or making 2, but she hasn't finished hers yet. So she's like, when you're done this, let me know how it went, and you know, so I can tell her that it's massive. So if you're looking for a giant blanket, this is it. I am really glad that I was able to finally use this yarn for a project. Well, let's sit down and talk a little bit more about the process of making this and my thoughts. Let's go over how long it took me to make this blanket. For day 1, it took me 5 hours. Day 2, 3 hours, and day 3, also 3 hours. In a total of 11 hours to make this blanket, which doesn't seem like a lot, and I feel like my math is wrong. It checks out. I really could have gotten this project done in 2 days had I actually done more crocheting on the second day. It only took me 3 days to do, and it wasn't like I was crocheting all day to do it. So I made the 6-day star blanket in 3 days. Although I can't really brag about that because I used super bulky yarn. So if I didn't use super bulky yarn and I was using medium weight yarn, I would still be working on this thing. Or the blanket would only be like this big. But because I used really, really bulky yarn, it did get pretty big. So it's a big blanket. I don't really want it on me right now because it's really warm in here. This blanket is about 66 inches from one peak to another. So it's pretty big. Was actually kind of nice taking a break from what I normally crochet to do something a little different. This blanket definitely could be a rug if I wanted it to be a rug. It'd be kind of neat to make it into a rug. But it is very, very chunky, but it's also very soft. The pattern was a little frustrating at first, and I think a lot of people have problems with how the pattern is written, and I totally get that. I am not a reader. Like, I don't like reading patterns. I like a visual diagram, like a map of the project. If I could just see this project in all the little symbols for like a double crochet, a single crochet, a chain, I would have had no problem deciphering this. But because everything was like written out, and it made sense once I figured it out, but at first just looking at it, I'm like, there is just a lot of words. Like I showed you earlier how I had to underline each step per row. That made things so much easier because it was just a lot of words at the end of each step that I didn't need to do. Because once you did it once, you didn't need to read it over and over and over again. Although, I mean, if you are a beginner crocheter, then those steps are probably more beneficial to y'all. But for me, I kind of figured it out. I also didn't mention this, but they do have a video of them doing all the steps on YouTube. So if you are like more of a visual learner and you need to see someone actually doing it, there is a whole YouTube series on how to make this by the pattern writer. Personally, for me, I would have loved just a diagram. Just give me a diagram and I'm good to go. I did have 2 issues on me. I just need to find the stitch markers. This purple stitch marker here. I had too many stitches on the row before. So when I was doing the next row, I realized I had to make some type of correction because I was not gonna go back and fix that problem. It just wasn't happening. It's right where the purple stitch marker is. I did like a decrease. So I did a double crochet in one, and then I didn't finish that double crochet, and then I went into the next stitch, did another double crochet, and then I finished both stitches together in order to get one loop on the top. So when I went to do the next row, I had the right amount. Because this blanket is like literally all over the place, I don't think you're really gonna notice that error. So if you are making one of these and you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. Like, look at this. It's really hard to tell when one stitch ends and one stitch starts. It will be fine. And then the other one is up here. What ended up happening is when I was doing my row of all double crochets, when you get to the corner, you're supposed to put 5 double crochets in like the top peak, no chaining, none of that, and you move on. I still had the mindset of the granny square row is when you're in the corner, you do 3, you chain 3, you do 3, and you move on. And I don't know if that's just because I had done that a few rows down, or it's just because when I get to a corner on a granny square, whenever I do a granny square, that's what you do in a granny square. And I didn't find out until I was like halfway through that row, and I'm just like, I'm not taking it apart. I'm not gonna redo it. And it was like the last big row before I ended up doing 2.5 rows of single crochets. It really didn't matter. It was at the end of the blanket anyway, so it's fine. I think if I was closer to the beginning of the blanket, I probably would have taken that row out, but it was literally the last double crochet row that I had to do, and I just didn't see a purpose of me redoing it. For the last 1.5 rows, I just did single crochets around until I just ran out of yarn. But what's funny though is that the second to last row that I did was actually a single crochet row anyway. So it's not like I was breaking the pattern up. I had to do a single crochet row. I ended with that. Probably could have done a cleaner edge on that, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I just ended it on a single crochet. I wanted to use up as much yarn as possible. I didn't want to end so it looked perfect. I needed to get this yarn out of my stash. So I wanted to use every single yard of that yarn up. Okay, I needed to use all of it up. And I only had to cut off a few just tails. This is the entire blanket. I give this probably an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty easy pattern to follow, but I'm just not in love with the colors. I don't know. For some reason, I thought the gray looked more like a blue, and I don't know if that's just in certain lighting, but I thought it was like this blue-gray, and then while doing it, it's more of a gray, but it makes sense. It's called, I believe, what is it? The color is called birch bark. So, I mean, this does definitely look like bark. I do think it looks pretty cool, especially for my first like star blanket. I've never really done a star shape before, so that's interesting. I will be honest, I will probably never buy an anniversary cake again because it took me so long to make this that like, what am I gonna do with another one? However, if they come out with one that is so 80s and I'm like, yes, I need to have this, then okay. From the color choices that I've seen in the past, they're okay. I think this was my favorite one, so I really don't need to buy another one, and I really don't know what other project I would do with it. I only needed to buy it once, needed to test it out, but I really just don't think I would ever buy this again because I don't know what I would do with another one. In the comments below, please let me know if any of y'all have bought this yarn before and what did you make out of it? I think I did get a lot of comments saying that I should make the 6-day star blanket out of this yarn. Y'all were right. It looks really good. I do like it. Glad I got to use the yarn. In the comments, let me know if you've tried the Caron anniversary cakes. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.